Hey folks, it's another beautiful day here in Seattle, and we're gonna do some artwork. Give me a second here to check my signal and make sure that we're coming through, and then we'll get to work here. So if you're already familiar with the channel, you know that I'm going to take probably about a minute here to check all my P's and Q's. So if you're familiar already, you can skip ahead a minute. I'll see you on the other side of the bump. You can skip ahead. Cool. Okay, great. So the sound sounds pretty good. Let me drop my voice down there so it doesn't get in the way of of any good times to come. Cool. Got that there. Grab my social media link here real fast. I got just a couple more buttons to press. Let me say, hey, my name is Phil Kearney. I create role-playing games. I illustrate them. I publish them online. And I create content for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, now using the 2024 mechanics. I've been a DM since 1987. I've been a freelance illustrator since 1999. I've been creating content on the DMsGuild, and I've been an Eberron enthusiast since 2004. And so, but I haven't created anything on the DMsGuild for Eberron specifically yet, so I want to change that today. That's what we're working on. We're making an adventure for the Eberron campaign setting using the new 2024 mechanics. It's called Crystals of Mabar. You can see the book cover here. We made this back around episode 40. And let me fix my screen here real quick. We are now at episode 489. The entire playlist is here. Here's my social media feeds. Here's a bunch of other books that I've created on the DMsGuild already. They all have free previews. So be welcome if you're a D&D enthusiast. Be welcome to check them out. If you think they're cool and you want to support me, consider making a purchase or Patreon or whatever. But most importantly, right now, have fun. So new subscribers, thanks a lot, guys. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications of when we will be live in the future, which is frequently. I'll be back later on today to do game design for Dungeons & Dragons. So let's see. Let's put a wrap on this and fix my screen just a smidge, and that's lined up. Okay, great. So let's get the piece, let's get the book cover out of the way. You can check that out on episode 40 in the Wayback Machine. It's again, like I was talking about yesterday, I only work digitally because I can't see color. So the RGB slider up here in the corner is my color vision, and because of that, I can't really check proofs of print that comes through. So if I were to decide to print books, it would be black and white art only. And I just love the fact that I've figured out how to paint in color at all. So that's why I keep myself in the digital space. But as a result of it, I don't have to comply with paper sizes. So I created this 16:9 format for the adventure using a 12-point font. Here on full screen on YouTube, it doesn't quite full screen correctly, but like if you're using, there we go. That's a pretty, Photoshop's not designed to align like that, but this is pretty damn well aligned. So you can see this is the 16:9 format like you'll see on your phone or on like a widescreen monitor. Here's the tablet that I'll use in Meet Space if I'm DMing. And so the whole thing vertically is 16:9, and horizontally each column is 16:9. So you can and it's a 12-point font, so it's super easy to read for most people horizontally, and for blind people like me, even so at vertically, I can read it well. So we tend to keep the ideas, like the text of the adventure, isolated to trying to like distill them down into simple ideas, one column at a time. The illustrations are allowed to sprawl from 1 to 3 columns across, so they don't have the same restrictions. They can sit in spaces in between. You've seen that crop up on a number of other pages that we've done already. So we build all the maps, all the spot art, all the tokens, all of it from ideation to publication. I basically do all of it except for the editing. So we're doing, this is just a pile of loot that the team finds, if the team searches this room, there's a couple dead. I don't put actual dead bodies on the grid, but this is where they would be dead if I depicted them. I'll put the blood splatters because in this adventure specifically, Crystals of Mabar, there's the undead are infected with necrotic energy from the plane of Mabar. Mabar is the plane of undeath, darkness, and things that go bump in the dark in the world of Eberron. So when they're killing people, they're infecting them with these crystals, these little gritty crystals that basically is like your blood coalesces into this like crystalline substance that can be harvested. And inside of a manifest zone where the plane of Mabar and Eberron kind of merge together during like certain phases of the moon and stuff like that. The soil, there's a ritual going on by necromancers deep in the Carnwood forest that is creating a manifest zone so strong that it's terraforming the environment. So all the soil is turning into these crystals as well that they can just literally harvest and then process with mage rites and alchemists to create material components for undead and darkness rituals. So the village, in this scenario, the village gets slaughtered and everyone is dead. So you're showing up too late to investigate, and while you're investigating, you find a treasure trove of basically the town's the town's bargaining loot. Right, they can purchase things when they need them and stockpile this for horrible days. So if you find it, it has a ruby, a red ruby gem, a red ruby worth 400 gold, 3 100 gold piece trade bars, which are like mercantile, like moving large materials, 30 platinum pieces, 59 gold pieces, 215 silver pieces, and 455 copper pieces. So here's your chest, here's your ruby, here's the trade bars. Here's the sacks of coins, gold. This will be platinum, copper, silver. Here's the journal. Let's see. Main entrance above. One of the bodies possesses a small journal of events and accounting for the town as detailed above. In a previous page, we detail what's in this journal relevant to the adventure. And keys. The keys unlock the entrance here, and inside this warehouse here that this connects to, there's also a chain that's holding the door shut to keep the undead out, which ended up failing because they came in here through the back door, and a strong box. So here's your strong box. So we're in the process of comic book coloring, right? We got like like here for these coins. We have the line art of the coins, and then we have the color of the coins. The color goes underneath the line art like a comic book, and we're almost at a point where we're going to start merging these two things together and continuing with that process. So for now, we've got the gold coins and the platinum coins, and I need to open up. Here's all the references. Like I was saying before, I don't see colors, so I'll grab photos. Images from Photoshop that are relevant to the objects that I'm creating, and I will borrow the colors off of these. For example, platinum. Here's our platinum block. I can use my eyedrop tool, and over here in the upper right hand corner you can see the RGB slider is moving around, and that becomes my color vision. So I can see that there is it's all just gray tones. I thought I saw, there's a little bit of, nope, hold on. Nope, it's full gray all the time. All three of these things are set together. Okay, well that's gonna be really easy. Just checking my shit real quick. Okay, cool. So it's not like I'm on a weird layer or anything. So I'm gonna grab just a shadow there and highlight here, and that should take care of it. So once we finish the underlayer of coloring, hold on, I want to fix this real quick here. Lift that a bit. Okay, cool. Big old fat bug in here. So I'm gonna have a little. I'm gonna swat at a bug occasionally that's flipping by. Okay, so let's see. Let's just layer in some and then smudge it in. This is how we do reflection on coins to make them lustrous. It's not crazy intense detail work. It's just a little bit of highlight and smudgery. You want to fill in the flat area a bit. It ends up looking pretty good. Like, I like how these coins look. At a glance, I think they look good. Let's do that, and then eliminate that because it was stray. Nope. Like that. Let me do shadow back in here. Wrong one. Okay, no, that's good enough. Like, it doesn't have to be crazy. I'll hit save. Okay, so the next task on my list, I'm pretty happy with that. We need to do wood texture for this box here. So let's fold this together. I'm happy with everything here. I just want to finish up that that texture on the box, and then we're going to merge the line art into the color work that we've been doing, and like basically blend the line art in so it's not so like you'll see what I'm talking about. But like these lines here. That's going to just become like color contour. So you'll see. It's just I don't know the right. I honestly don't know what the right word for that is, but it's a process we're going to go through. And so let's click here. Let's grab our box reference that we've been using, which is here. Let's do that. That's going to be good. Let's see. Well, hey, what's going on, Fernando? We'll start here because this is going to be the easiest way to do it. It feels like it should be a darker color. Let's grab that. Hey, Steve. It's good to see you, my guy. I'm really happy how the gold bars are turning out. Like, that was a lot of fun to do. I did some initial highlights and shadow work last night off screen. I told you guys I would do stuff off screen and I would come back and things would move forward so we can start collapsing time frames to be able to accelerate completing this document. And so here we go. We're getting into the swish drain of it all. So let's put that here. Yeah, that's the coloring I wanted. Put that. I got to get that angle right though. Let's give it a tilt so I can set it as a point. Skew. So I'm pretty happy with the text throughout the event. Like, I've been messing around with reformatting the what's the word I'm looking for? Reformatting the layouts for a lot of the stuff. How things are arranged in the adventure, just to make it fit better. And occasionally I'll see like weird, like questionable language that was being used. I've corrected most of that stuff for 2024. The only thing that we need to do is update the monsters, and we'll get to that here soon enough. The monsters aren't until page 70 something, so we've got a little ways until we get there. And I'm just doing that, like you can see that starting to skew here, right? So what I need to do is, because there's a mild perspective shift that's going on there, and this is flat as though there is no perspective. So I'm going to have to take all of these collectively and rearrange them so that they skew together properly. So let's see if I can execute that here with a free transform and perspective tool. See if I can get these things to line up. And we'll go skew. That's not horrible. It's just a touch of a twist. How about that? No, that was the wrong decision. Let's go to there and free transform and let's distort. There. There we go. Merge these. So it's a single layer now. And then clean up these edges. And yeah, that fits. See, now, so you can see that like there's minimal distortion from the metal edge. Thank you. Along this metal's edge. And this first slat of wood, and then this first slat of wood and the second slat of wood. I mean, there's some curvature going on, so the distance is going to change through foreshortening a bit. So not a lot, a bit more, the most, and then it goes off screen. You can't see it anymore. That's actually, I did this wrong. So I'm glad I questioned that. It's like, what's going wrong? Well, what's going wrong is that I should use this edge here, not this edge, to determine what's straight or not. So I gotta do that again. Let's do it again. We'll start here like we did, and we'll take that to here. Nope. Start here. We'll take that to there. Thank you. Then we'll go here, and we'll take that to here. Here, we'll take that to here. And we're going to drop this down because it should be bigger. Like that. And then from here, looking for that line. That ain't it. Man, I just cannot hit that angle. I can hit it. I can get it. I'm going to cheat. Power of Photoshop. Just down a tick. There we go. Hey. This is off, so the whole thing feels a little off. So let's distort. So we can hit that angle. There we go. Good old distort tool. What a marvel. Distort tool, select options like that. That was the start of AI. We didn't see it. It was so subtle. First they came for our angles, then they came. First they came for our paint can, and then they came for our select angles, and then they came for our creativity. The rise of the machine. Rated R. Hey, what's up? The chest looks awesome. Thank you. It turned out pretty good. All these things turned out pretty good. This has been a pretty good piece. Again, we still have to blend the line art, and then once the line art blends in, we'll start to mess around with texture some more. So it's coming along. The lines are a little rough here, but for the most part, it's pretty solid. Thank you. Let's grab this, copy, paste. Free transform. Hold on. Let's zoom in here. Then free transform. We want to bend this just a smidge, like that, and shit test our line. Let's get free transform, skew. That's about right for our angle here, and you can see that the box underneath actually has the wrong angle for the box. So let's take this. Let's drop back to black. There. No, I don't want to do it that way. Let's do. I'm just gonna put a little squiggle over here, just to block in some color so I don't lose it, because I need here and here, because I need to drop back into black and white here, so I can fix this line. There we go. Like, too thick. I see text. Hold on. I'll catch up with you in a second. There we go. Yeah, once we merge the color into the line art, I can correct the edges a bit. It'll just clean it up some. That's the wrong button. Almost there. Stay on target. What's up? Hey, what's up, Gabby? Man, I'm doing fantastic. I'm bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. I'm well rested. Last night we finished converting the Unearthed Arcana Scion subclass, the Scion, the new class Scion that Wizards is exploring and playtest as a Unearthed Arcana playtest document. It was fun converting it. I think there's some fun tools in there. I am again pleased to see that Wizards is kind of bending in the direction of my design philosophies for what 5e24 should be. And I mean, they're not, you know, I seriously doubt they're actually watching my stream. But I can see that the mechanics that they're coming out with are very similar in the ideas that we've been exploring for the past year here on stream. So it's cool. It's cool to see similar stuff coming through. Like, it was the next natural step. The kind of stuff that I'm doing is like popping up a little bit here and there in their classes. So I like that a lot. Very happy. And that line art is better now. So we'll do cleanup. Like all these edges can be cleaned up some. Now that I'm looking at this, I feel like that needs to be. Hold on, my perfectionist is kicking in. I think that's why I like 5e24 so much. Well, I mean, I like 5e24 because I just think they're cleaner rules in general. But I feel like there's more design space for characters with the way that they're exploring the use of resources and systems. It gives us more opportunity to create new ideas with the characters in general. And that's my main interest in the 5e game engine, is just how flexible it is to be able to create different types of games, characters, and experiences. Really is a good game engine. There. Okay, that feels better. Okay, Ben. Cool. Thank you. Let's drop back here. That's good. There we go. Let's fix this. It is babe, isn't it? Now, wrong layer, son. There we go. Get rid of that. Good. Merge down. Let's grab this. Cut. Let's paste that over here. Push this up to the reference area. There, now I don't have to worry about it. Where are we at? Right, we're doing wood slats. So let's keep at it. Let's see if we can. Oops. Don't want to be like that. Let's go. I bet I could do this with 2 slats. So let's expand that to there, and then thread this needle here. Good. Okay, I need to read up. I'm initiated because I keep getting distracted. Right on. I mean, we have no idea what they're gonna do with it, right? It's not real. I honestly, the reason I did it, it was because the algorithms. I did it all for the algorithms. I completely did it because it was a new thing. It was trending, and I'm like, you know what? I've got thoughts about this, so why don't we just do some design shit and see what happens? So that was my own personal shilling of my channel. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have wasted the time on it. Because I don't know if they're going to keep it or not, right? Generally, I prefer to keep things that I tend to focus on things that I know that are sure things so that they're not a waste of time. But that looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. So we're doing parallel here. This is forward facing. This is side facing. This is up facing. Over here will be side facing as well. Like that. It feels a little off. Let's do like, no, that's definitely off. Feels better. Let's grab both of these and drop them down a bit so they've got a bit thicker lines. Good. Yes, okay, thank you. Freehanding this stuff isn't so easy. I mean, I'm pressing the shift button and then clicking on a destination, and it makes a straight line for me. That's not the tricky part. It's free eyeballing the space between. Like, this is too much space here, so I need to close that up a smidge so it's all the same. There we go. That's better. And then I can grab this, copy paste, drop that down here, and now we can see that I have an angle issue here. So let's go to free transform, and then we'll use let's do that. Free transform skew. Like that. So you can see, like, there's like a bit more gap here than in the other ones. So I just got to grab that and bring that up a smidge. Now we have too little of a gap over here. So we'll drop that down a smidge. It's not quite there. Pretty good. Good enough, anyway. That feels just a little. Hold on, I need to free trans. You, buddy, right there. You. I'm talking about you. Let's zoom in. Let's free transform. It's like It's like just a touch off. There. There we go. Wait, nope. This is what's off. Picky, the perspective lines. It really, if I can get the perspective good enough, your eye is just going to basically accept the whole piece. Once your perspective is good, like your eye is just like, yeah, this is real enough, and then you can just enjoy the details. That's not bad. It's not bad. So. that stuff out of the way. There you go. Cool. So now we have the slats on here, and now we get to add wood grain. A subtle detail, but oh wait, yeah, something still feels just a smidge off about you here, buddy. Free trans. Yeah. Thank you, Tommy Timer. Free transform. Skew. No, that's too much. Free transform. Skew. There we go. That's pretty good. Nice. I'm pretty happy with that. It's close enough. It's close enough that you can't just eyeball it and just like that feels wrong. It feels. Hold on. That's a lie. Hold on. I think if I skew it, just like the whole structure of it, I think if I skew all these bits, just like 2 degrees, I think I'm going to actually be happy. Hold on. Let's see if that's true. Hey guys, everyone that's hanging out with me, bless y'all for swinging by this morning. I stream like this. I do artwork like this Monday through Friday in the morning, and then I do game design for D&D in the afternoons and evenings. Like later on today, we're going to continue translating the fighter into a mana casting martial power build. We already have the basic framework that we've been spending here on stream for the past year and playtesting on my Discord. But now we're in the refining stage. Most of the stuff that we're using is fun, but we're finding balance issues. So we've made a number of corrections, so I have to update the document. And I do a lot of that stuff on my design stream just to keep you guys updated on where we're at and what we got going on. So, but I'm happy with this, so I'm going to keep this color. And so we have this color and we have this highlight. Those are basically the 2 colors that we're working with off of this piece of reference material. And of course, I don't see color. So in Photoshop, the RGB slider up here in the corner is my color vision. So I can see any color that I want by clicking on the eyedropper tool. And all I have to do is just make sure that I'm using a good color reference from a photo and let the skills that I've developed as an artist work on the actual contrast using those colors. Like if I want a darker color here, I know I'm missing elements of color. Like I still don't know how to properly gauge like heat in a color, like hot colors versus cold colors. I know like shadows tend to have darker and cooler colors than like highlights tend to be warmer, unless it's like some sort of inverted lighting, like a dull blue maybe, and then the shadows could be warmer than the highlights. But you want to flip those 2 things. Like that's a subtlety that I'm still figuring out how to do. But you know, for just BS comic book work like this, it's not bad. I'm good enough. So we're getting there slowly but surely. So I'm going to pull this reference out of the way. Blip. So you can see we made wood grain. And I mean, obviously we have the grid is burned into the map, so it sits over everything. But we made these slats that would run through, and then we made this wood grain. It looks a little squiggly at this scale, but all you have to do is pan back a little bit, and the wood grain looks pretty damn good. So we're going to go through a similar process here now with these slats that we just made. We'll put our references back in. Cool. So we're going to drop down to lower. Here, there. So we're going to do similar stuff like this. Just like little squiggles like that. And then we just take and we just pull it. That's all we have to do to make wood grain. Super simple. And and it's on a separate layer, so we can change the opacity on it to thin out the color. But this is like we can make it a little, like we can make a knot here if we wanted to. Super easy. Wood grain is fun to do. It's so easy. And you want to intentionally have like little squiggles and stuff going on there, so when you come through and you smut, you just do some vertical lines, and then you just do the squiggles like that to set things straight. Very, very easy. You don't even have to worry about being the lines being too straight, because the smudge, it's the smudge work that really helps lock it in. So the smudge lines, I can start here and go just by doing a light smudging to soften and blend the line a little bit is all you really need to make these knots and this wood grain really just look decent. Like that and there. That. Hey, what's up? Love how you handle color theory despite the fact. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I'm incredibly proud of it. It would be so much faster for me to be able to make books if I didn't make them all color. But that's like my major source of pride that I can actually do it. I get commission requests all the time. So while I have no idea, obviously other people think my color's good enough that they're willing to pay me money to do stuff for them. So that's a huge victory. I used to not share that I couldn't see color because way back in the day I was afraid that I wouldn't get a gig because I couldn't be relied on. Because like initially when I started freelancing, pay on demand book printing was only black and white. You couldn't afford color. It was too expensive for the RPG community. They just didn't bother. And as by 2004, maybe 2003, they'd already figured out how to reduce that cost. So they started offering full color printing, and that's when broadband started becoming available globally. So now it was that I could do black and white art for these books, no problem. That's great. I know how to work in black and white. I'm pretty good at it. But once color and the global economy kicked together, I was competing against people with a fraction of the income that I needed. But they were able to produce what I couldn't with color, so I started dropping out of the RPG illustration scene. And then one of my friends is just like, "Why don't you just paint in color?" Like, "Larry, I don't see color." He's like, "So figure it out. Come on, you can do it." him not knowing anything about it, he's just like, "Come on, you can figure it out." And that's the faith that he had in me. God bless you, Larry. This angle is wrong here. I have to fix that. Sorry, that just jumped out at me. And once you see it, you can't not see it, you know? Gotta fix your shit. I mean, legitimately, sometimes things are good enough. But other times you can just take a moment and just make it better. Now, like I said, I do that with text all the time, like when I'm doing layout stuff here. Oh, actually, that's wrong. Shit. Okay. Structural issue. Structural moment. Let's get rid of that joint. There. That's too big. My foreshortening's wrong. More like that. Okay, mischief managed. And I don't have that on the inside because that's an exterior plate and this is an interior plate, so it's a little different. But I do need to fix that underlying color now. So let's go down to here, I think is where we're at. Get rid of that. And get rid of that. There, we're straight. straight again. Sounds good. Drop down here, fiddle with this line art just a smidge because it's bugging me. Again, we're going to blend all this line art into the color, and then we're going to end up basically disintegrating the line art, or basically absorbing it into the color. But the better the line art is when we get to that point, the easier it's going to be to transition. There. Okay, now we can go back up to here and get rid of this overlines. That feels pretty good. Okay, cool. So that was easy enough, right? Making progress. Let's go back, grab our sample color here, and get back to it. So we put in our slats here. It's just very easy. Just smudge it all in. Make the lines. And because it's wood grain, it doesn't have to be perfectly straight, so I don't have to worry about whether the angles are straight or not. When it blends into the wood color as a whole, it'll end up looking right. Like here's a point where we can see like a knot is naturally starting to manifest, so let's lean into that here for a moment. When I grew up, I lived in the basement. We had a finished basement in Missouri. And we had wood paneling on the walls, very similar to this. And I would stare at it for hours, just like watching how the grain would move and where the knots would manifest and how they like make these like little swirly clusters. It was almost like watching. It was almost like water or like some sort of liquid pouring was frozen in space. It fascinated me. So. I like thinking of that basement when I'm doing wood grain like this. It just reminds me of home. I had a fireplace in my basement. I lived on a ranch, a horse ranch. It was a small, modest horse ranch. We only housed I think at most 4 horses at a time. But all growing up, I had to shovel shit. Constantly shovel shit. Occasionally having to go out with my dad to stock up on hay and oat, bring it back, and then fill the barn with hay. It was, and then I also had to do all the normal chores that you would have to do as a kid, and I hated it. And I didn't even really benefit from it because along with full color blindness, achromatopsia, there's a link to it in the description down below for those that care. It's just my eye doesn't have my retina doesn't have any cones, so I have 0 color vision. But those cones also control resolution, like image resolution in your eye. I don't see. I have basically 1/10 the range. I have 2200 vision, so I have the 1/10 the range of perfect vision. But they can't be corrected with lenses because it's not an issue of my eye being shaped the wrong way. It's that I don't have the firmware in my brain to translate images into higher resolution. So when you would look at something and you would zoom in on it so you could see it more clearly, like when you look at something, it snaps into focus. As I understand it. When you look at something, it's a little blurry because it's in the background. If you pay attention to it, it snaps into focus if it's within range of what your vision is at. And my eye doesn't do that. I have one resolution, and my focus doesn't change when I look someplace else. If I want to see something, I have to literally lean my head in to zoom. I have to physically move to zoom. I have no zoom function on my camera lens. So that means I can't read signs I can't drive, so I can't read signs on the road. So I have to like physically walk and crane my neck. God bless phones because they have cameras in them. I have to use my phone camera to zoom in if I don't want to walk over to see what it is that I'm looking at. don't like, I like this knot, but I don't like how parallel it is. So I'm just gonna scoot the whole thing. No, now it's even more lined up. God damn it. Hold on. Let's do, fuck you. Let's do, yeah, I like that. It fits nicely in that space, so let's do it like that. So, so when you're riding a horse, the horse is surrendering its decisions to you, and it has to trust you. But if I don't know where I'm going, if I can't see what's coming up, the horse doesn't trust. I can't trust what I'm doing. I try to rely on the horse to pick the right path, to know where to go. But it's like, dude, are you going to call the ball on this? It's like, I can't call the ball on this, and they freak out. They do not want a rider on their back if that rider doesn't know what the hell they're doing. Like, literally doesn't know where they're going. They didn't trust me enough for that. So I spend all this time scooping shit, doing hay, switching out sawdust, and because of my limitations, I didn't even get to ride them. So I'm like, fuck, man, I hated that. So it just made me so angry as a kid. It felt so unfair, and that was something I had to learn to make do with. It really helped set me up to deal with disappointment in life. Now when things don't go my way, I'm like, well, obviously it wasn't meant to be, otherwise it would. All the people that are like super chill and zen and accepting and like come what may, I'm pretty sure most of us have like severe trauma that was like so far beyond our control, we had to learn to give up and be okay with giving up. You know, it sounds sad and defeatist, but like, if you can't fly, don't jump off cliffs, you know? You just gotta recognize and accept where you're at. And then you can free yourself from expecting more of yourself than you are. Just like all the other mystics have said, know where you're at, and then move on from there. I feel a knot should be here. And it's kind of weird to have a strong box if you can just punch through the wood to get into the interior, but I mean, you know. There's only so much you can do. It's the lock is more there as like as a deterrent of opportunity, not like to prevent it from being like what bandits are going to come way the hell out here in hopes that maybe someone in the community has a little bit of gold. No, you're going to target merchant caravans. There is no risk to this community. They don't have anything to fear from robbery. If robbery occurs, it's going to be from within the community, and it's a misguided cry for help. At least that's what the mayor would say if he was still alive. Sorry, Jalen. Hashtag dead towns don't hate. Oops. I'm in the wrong color. You gotta go back to black and white. Hold on. Let's get there. Again, when I see the flaw, I have to fix it. There we go. Better. Better already. Huzzah. Let's get back to it. I'm just going to paint over the over the locking mechanism because we're just going to erase it as we smudge through. It's just easier to paint over it instead of having to think about it. Hey, that's my 20-minute timer to make sure I don't get locked up in any particular piece or detail too far. So let's click continue. It is it's 7:14 here in Seattle. That's perfect. I've got another 40 minutes. So we got two more. We have two more alarms. I live my life here online in 20-minute bursts. Here, let's fix this. Bring that in a bit. Clean that up a bit. There. Chunk. There we go. Hold on. There. I spy with my eye some text that's scrolling over here. What's up? When you are not at live stream, do you use your alarm system? No. When I'm not on stream, and it depends on how much time I have. I specifically use the timer here on stream because I'll sometimes, like, if I'll get into a conversation about something, or while I'm in that conversation, I might. So, how to put it? Sometimes when I get into a conversation about something, I'll start whinging on a particular spot, especially if I'm really deep into an idea. I'll like sit and just like detail a spot while I'm talking about things, and before I know it, like 20 minutes has gone by and I've only done like a small block of area. So the timer evolved to make sure that I'm not. It's basically for entertainment. It's for your benefit, not mine, more so. Just to make sure that I don't get lost in details to the point where I feel like I could be potentially disconnecting from what's actually like what's engaging folks on screen. So like getting too far into micro details can be obnoxious. But when I'm at home, like when I'm off screen, I don't mind spending like 3 hours whinging on a piece because I'm off screen. That's like sometimes I have to whinge for 3 hours on something. Especially like if I'm doing like page layouts, I'm trying to figure out how to make these words fit or something, you know, like it's necessity may vary, and sometimes not having the phone on helps me just not worry about how much time it's taking to get it, because I have to get it done. It doesn't matter how long it takes anyway. Sometimes having the timer going just pisses me off that I haven't gotten it done yet. So I guess it depends. Sometimes yes, and sometimes no. Most of the time I don't, unless I'm timing it around events. Like if I know I'm going to go eat dinner in an hour, then I will use my timer to make sure I'm ticking down my time so I can be paying attention, because I will not be checking. I won't have the awareness. It's like I should check on the clock. How long has it been? No, I'll use the timer. That'll help me. So yeah, sometimes yes, mostly no. Only if I have to worry about time. Like I have a finite, like I have to log out by 8 o'clock, like 7:50 something. I have to be out of here so I can go do my day job. So I can't be late. So I have to have a timer anyway. But originally I would just have a timer, 5-minute warning. I'm like, fuck, I didn't know I only had 5 minutes left. I would have done this differently if I had had more time, if I knew where I was at. And it only took me like doing that like 2 or 3 times for me to be like, okay, well, I should just set a timer 15 minutes too soon. Let's just make it 20 minutes. And that just pretty much became a thing. I don't think I developed the timer until I started doing work like this in the morning. What happened was I have my day job, right? And so, and I love painting and love game design, but I can't do that at work. It's not my job. So while I'm at work, I'm pining away. When do I get to paint again? And I found myself wanting to distract myself with ideas and stuff. And it's like, you know what? If I just do artwork in the morning instead, I can get the creative bug fed and be satisfied until I'm off work. And then I can come back in and I can continue what I had began instead of waiting to get done. So it makes me feel less tired at work to start off creatively. And so I can guarantee that even if I'm utterly exhausted or things go sideways or I end up like getting invited to go to a pub or something like that after work, then I got work done. I got my own stuff done today. I'm free to do as I please. And just like that, we're done with our wood grain. So I'm going to hit the opacity button here and just drop it a little bit so it fades a little bit more into the woodwork, as it were. And I did not do in here. I just needed to get a little tick in here. Oh, and then there's there's up here as well. Almost there. Now those angles are a little off, but I like this idea. That's a little off. Let's fix you. Good. And then back into here. You know what? No, that needs to be a little bit thicker. That's good. Not 100%. Let's take this and let's distort it. There. Now you're sitting pretty. Good boy. There. Like that. And here. And that. A little bit of highlight instead of shadow in there to make it stand out a smidge. Not bad. Now let's take, let's just streak in some of these highlights here. Doesn't need to be a lot, just a little bit of a highlight here, just to add a little bit of luster. And only in the areas that are actually highlighted to make it pop a little bit. Gives it just a little smidge of three-dimensionality to it. Now what I probably should have done before I got into heavy texturing like this was probably merge the flats into the line art to fix that and then do the detail work over the flats. But this is where we're at, so we'll figure it out. Once I get this done, we're going to be merging the line art into the color and then figuring it out from there. We're pretty close to this piece. We won't be done with this piece today, but I'm pretty much guaranteed to finish this weekend, and then we'll start in on a whole new paint. We're gonna do a Bob Ross painting next, starting on Monday, we have to do an entire column painting in the Carnwood in the next section. I just have an open column and I have to fill it with something. I didn't have any text or anything needed. It was just a gap. It's like, that's a great opportunity for us just to dump a Bob Ross painting in there. So that's what we're going to do. So if you want to watch me make a Bob Ross painting, I've done 120 of them. Like actual Bob Ross episodes. I've done a paint-along with them a number of years ago when I was learning how to do environment painting in the first place. So let's take this here and this and that. That and there's our flats. And here's all our detail. So what I want to do, duplicate this group. We call this detail, line copy. Flats. We're going to take line and flats. We're going to duplicate those layers, and then we're going to merge these layers together. Now this is all a single layer, right? So now we're going to have, and then we have the detail, and then line art we can put over the detail. Oops, but we don't have to worry about that mostly. We only have to worry about it just a little bit in here. So we'll fix the detail inside there, but for now we're going to work the flats. So let's just work the flats. So I'm going to grab my guitar pick. Where you at, buddy? What the fuck's my guitar pick? Show additional preset. So search bar, recent brushes. Photoshop updated from 2023 to, I was trying to do an update for, I was using Photoshop 2020, and I was doing an update, and instead of actually updating Photoshop, it instead converted to 2025, and I didn't know it was doing that. So I'm like, okay, I'll try you. I'm like, where the fuck is my guitar pick? I made a guitar pick brush, smudge brush that's really good. And I don't know where the fuck it is. Can I zoom in on these things? Hold on. So it rearranged all my shit, and I don't know like where anything is right now. So it rearranged all my shit, and I don't know like where anything is. See if I can find it. I really need that goddamn... I don't need that brush, but boy, it made my life easy. Special effect brushes. Where the fuck this guy is? I must have bought a brush set at some point, like in the distant past. I'm angry. I'm angry. Can't find my goddamn brush. Like all these different brushes that I've made that I've used for years, and I feel like I've been using this guitar pick for like a year and a half, and it should be in here. The search continues. Maybe it's under all brushes. Sorry for the distraction, guys. This is a bit of a priority to me for the moment. Oh, fuck. Yeah, there's a ton of brushes I just don't need / use. Brush texture, rough brush, pad. I'm sorry, I have to find this. Now, like, what else did I lose? General brushes. Still searching. Sorry, guys. Fill brushes. They're so small. I don't know how to make these things bigger. It's hard for me to see. Come on, man. I have my knife edge. That's good. God, do I not even have my razor? Squares in here. That doesn't make any fucking sense. Why would I have a square brush? My cloud chalk is there that we've been using for smudge. There, knife. 2. Nope. Okay, yeah, I've got. No, that's not what I was looking for. Okay, yeah, Oh, I am freaking out. Okay, I guess I'm gonna have to rebuild it. Oh, there it was. No, I mean not specifically, but my this was my mountain razor that I was concerned that I had lost. So I found that. So that's good news. So maybe. Fuck. All right. Well, I guess we're gonna just have to rebuild the fucking brush again. That really makes me angry. This last sweep, and then I'll let it go. It was so well built. Okay. Well, I can make it again. So one last, just this last little sweep here, just to get through these things to see if I can find it. This is not how I expected to be spending this time. I thought I'd just be chiseling through shit. No, not there. One more second. No, that's not it. This is the type of reason why I have a 20-minute timer. Because I am absolutely getting lost in the sauce here. I am angry that these brush presets got clopped like this. Luckily, all my foliage brushes and stuff like that are fine. Because that would have made me cry if I was trying to do a Bob Ross painting and all of my Bob Ross brushes that I made got destroyed. That would have made a very sad fill. Okay, it's just not here, so we're going to have to build a new brush. So, give me a second. Very, very sad. I'm going to hit save real quick. And let's go up here to File. That's my 20-minute timer. We're going to go with a new, and then we're going to go custom size is going to be, what, 300 by 300. Let's try that. The 300 pixel brush. I'm going to make a new layer here. So we're going to make a brush. I assume 2025 does brushes the same way. It's been a while since I've needed to make a brush, so I might be a little rough here. So give me a moment. So we're going to put black here. So we're making a guitar pick. Ish. There, and then we'll duplicate the layer, free transform. Flip horizontal. Tip of the spear. Merge down. Let's resize it a little bit. Highlight, select, crop. Thank you. Now we're going to mask layer. So what I'm doing is I'm making a brush. Right now I'm using a layering mask to conceal part of the brush so that I can smudge. See how I'm smudging it in like that? It's like it's fading out and it's smudging in the full space again. This is a brush that I developed that has a soft smudge on the tail and on the curved edge here where it fades. And then it's a crisp brush at the top. So, and it's down to a chisel point. The blackness indicates effective area of the brush. So if I'm making a brush with a fade and a curved surface here, when I push pixels with the smudge tool, because this has a low opacity, it's only going to grab a little bit of the information and tug it. So it's going to blur it. It blurs it like a cloud, like it's becoming hazy. If I use the same settings, but I use this tip of the brush, then that's a hard edge, so it'll push all the pixels. So this is like a shovel, and this is like a blending tool. And then depending on how and then when I flip the brush around, depending on how I angle the brush is going to depend on how the brush performs. So right now I'm just adding in this. I'm using this masking layer so that I can I don't act. I need to drop the strength of the smudge brush down really low. But if I like just with like Bob Ross when he's painting painting the sky, he'll add in the color and then he'll work the canvas back and forth with his brush to blend in so it's smooth, so it doesn't have any streaks in it. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm doing that same blending technique so I can get rid of the streaks in the brush so it smooths itself out. And I have to be careful about angles because if I get like a too cockamamie of an angle, it'll get skewy. So I can do this, blend it in like that, and then here's a neat trick. I can select, and then on the next layer, I can block in I can block it in like that. Bring this back in. I can apply this layer mask. I'm going to duplicate the layer with the mask before I have any regrets. There, but I can apply the mask, so now it's permanent, right? And I can filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and look, it really just smudges it out like that. So I want to go with a low. I want to go with a low point, pretty much like that. That's okay now. And then here, select inverse, delete. Now I have my hard edge back. And this is a nice smooth gradient curve. And I can get rid of this, I can conceal this background layer. I can select this, and then I can go to Edit, define brush preset, and I can call it Guitar Smudge. I'll just call it Guitar Pick. And something went wrong, so delete. I didn't realize there was flaws going up in here. Give me a second. Hold on. And what I need is my vertical axis spin. So let's go to Windows, and we'll go to brush settings, and then we're going to go to the shape dynamics, and then we're going to add in the brush projection. The brush projection button lets me actually flip and rotate. Oh, interesting, it clipped it. Yeah, let's move back to this. Let's go here. Let's erase. We gotta erase that brush. Where are you at, buddy? Yeah. Okay, I erased the preset. Let's go back to highlighting here. And then on this layer, that should be good. Let's go to, let's try that again. Edit. I would call it Guitar Pick 1. Let's call it Guitar Pick. There, now it's the shape. Now we should be okay. Let's go back here real quick and test it. We need to go back into Windows, and then brush settings, and then shape dynamics, and then brush projection. There. Let's see if it works the way that I hope it does. So the fade is working. Let's go to references, and here's our little paint splotch. There, it cuts good. It pushes nice. Let's do a fade. It smudges smooth. That's probably gonna work. Ugh. I'm angry that tool was perfect, but relying on that tool and not knowing how to rebuild that tool is death. So it's actually, I'm going to see good and bad and recognize that this was an opportunity for me to check my shit. So let's go to 100%. Round brush smudge. Maybe I'm not happy with that as it is. Maybe I want to take the line art of this and drop it a bit. There. Duplicate these layers. Merge them. The control's a little bit different on this guy. Whew. That brush is aggressive. I'm gonna have to spend some time this week and go hunt for that. I'm gonna have to see if I can find that brush because I really this is handling a little bit differently. I think I'll get used to it, but not happy. Not happy that almost everything imported. I didn't realize I've been using it for over a year and hadn't actually saved it to any brush presets anywhere. That just seems weird. This is a level of detail I cannot handle. This is way overclocking the task. So let's just simplify our lives a little bit. Just clean up the edges. Here. straight along the edge there, just clean it up a smidge. There we go. This is how I expect the brush to perform. We're back in it. We're back in it, but we're almost out of time. I didn't get as far as I wanted to. That brush really hung me up. Not happy about that, Bob. Feels pretty good. Straighten that out. That also feels pretty good. Oh my god, is this brush better? Holy shit. This brush is suddenly becoming very responsive. This might actually be a better brush. Holy shit. Wow. You don't know until you get pushed in a direction, you know? I'm really happy with this. This type of detail work is where I need a timer. Make sure I don't get too lost in the details. Like is this line, is it really important? Well, I mean, making sure that the border is set proper. Yeah, that's a little important. Wrong color. There. I mostly just wanted to clean up where some of the ugliness was still at. And that feels better. That feels better already. And then we'll just clean up the edges on this lock, because it is a lock. It is made of metal. It has precise lines. So I want to be a little bit more precise with my angles as well. Nope. Bring this in here like that. And a little bit of cleanup here. I'm gonna get rid of that little nib. I'm thinking about having a little screw in there, but I'm gonna get rid of it. I think that's a little detail that this doesn't need. So I'm gonna clean that up so it's just not a variable that's hanging over us that could cause trouble. Let's get that to there, and that cleans up like that. Okay, cool. So I mean that's all I think I really needed to do to clean up the line art. I'm pretty happy with that. So now we can take the detail work that we did and drop it back in. And we can peel this open and let's see. Lines here that we need to get rid of. Here and here. Get rid of that. That's my timer. Okay, I've got like a matter of moments left now. Okay, down to the last few minutes. There, and we drop this back in. That is a hot mess. There. Almost there. Stay on target. I really wanted more time to mess around with this piece before I moved on to the next one. It makes me want to delay starting the Force next week, but I got to keep moving forward. So I think I'm just gonna keep working on this. I don't know, man. I really enjoy working on this piece, and I really enjoy showing off how to do detail, like the way that I do detail work. That's fun. But I'm feeling the pressure of getting the actual adventure finished, so that makes me want to finish this piece offline. Let's take duplicate the group. We'll conceal that. We're going to merge this group. I softened the black hard line here so that it wouldn't push the color too much. So I'm gonna have to take all this detail. I'm gonna have to end up merging that all into the same layer. That's about where I'm at. Jesus. Let's go with here, and then let's duplicate the detail group and merge that down. Conceal, push. This is where we are. There, and then detail in here. Cleans up that line here. And then I am like super low on time. I'm eyeballing like shit at 7:58. Yeah, I'm gonna be out of here like in a matter of just 2 minutes. I'm gonna be back today later on to work on the fighter, the mana powered fighter for D&D 5e24. That'll be around 2:30 Seattle time. It's almost 8 o'clock here, so that'll be 6.5 hours from now. I'll basically I'll take my hour lunch, and I'll log back in here with you guys and hammer out. Basically, we're refining and cleaning up and removing errors and filling in gaps of information for the subclasses that for all the subclasses using the power system mana as our resource instead of being resourceless. And that's something I've been streaming for the past year. This feels pretty good. This feels pretty good. Get rid of that little dot. You know, a little bit of some smudgery going on here. This is almost to a point where I can bind all the layers together and sculpt proper, but there's still just a little bit of like the grain detail I don't want to mess up too much. That feels really good. I like that. All right, it's 8 o'clock. I gotta bounce. That's it for now, guys. But I'm pretty happy with that. I still have to. I mean, I have the ruby to do. I have the blood to do. I have the gold bricks to do. Maybe for the sake of the exercise and being able to continue to demonstrate this process, maybe we'll do this on Monday and Tuesday a little bit too, just to stick around a little bit longer, because I really enjoy doing this detail work, and I love showing how this process works. I love doing that on stream. Absolutely love it. So maybe instead I'll just do a bunch of map stuff off screen this weekend and set up the Bob Ross painting. Get this done by Tuesday. And then we'll be able to move on through the rest of the piece. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to shift gears. We'll be back. We'll continue working on this on Monday. We'll finish it up probably on Tuesday. The muse isn't letting me go. Baby, I gotta go. She's like, no, just one more thing. I'm like, no, baby, I gotta go to work. She's like, no, stay. I'm like, come on, girl. This muse in my head, she loves doing the detail work, and she loves sharing it. This is what compels me to do this content online like this. That's okay. We're gonna hit save. That's it for now. I'll be back in 6.5 hours to work on the Martial Powers Fighter. We will come back on Monday and continue. This is just too much fun. I can't give this up. So we'll do this on Monday. I'll do map and boring stuff offline this weekend, so you don't have to worry about it. We'll come back. We'll mess with this. We'll finish it up. Super fun. All right, that's it, guys. Thanks a lot for hanging out. Like, subscribe, bell icons. I'm here 9 times per week, 5 times in the mornings doing art, 4 times in the afternoon and evenings during the week to do game design. Check out my books down below, my Discord. Jump in if you want, and I'll see you hopefully all in the future. Cheers.